Rich Kiefer?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Great. Have a nice day.
Hello?
Hello, Rich. Do you know who this is?
Morpheus.
Yes, I've been looking for you, Rich. I don't know if you're ready to hear what I want you to listen to, but unfortunately, you and I have run out of time. They're coming for you, Rich, and I don't know what they're going to do.
Who's coming for me?
The Nerd Herd.
Welcome everyone to the special Nerd Herd Matrix podcast episode. I am your host, Rich Kiefer. Today joined by Amber Bay.
Hello, hello.
Lance T. Miller.
What up?
And Morpheus.
It is I. Purple suit and green tie, man.
That's really the best.
I don't know.
All right. Today we are talking about, obviously, as I said in the intro, the Matrix movies. Not just one movie, not just two movies, not just three movies, but a whole fucking shitload because we watched the goddamn Animatrix, the three Matrixes. What else?
I was going to say, it's not just the movies, it's also the game.
The game, Enter the Matrix. Lord help us.
So the whole reason this came about, right?
Yeah.
Because we're approaching the 20th anniversary.
Indeed.
And we figured it'd be an excellent time to revisit a
Classic.
I guess it's been
a modern American classic.
Modern American
Definitely
classic.
the first one. Yeah.
It's considered a classic now that's 20 years old. Which
That is so weird
scaring
to
the
say.
shit out of me because I'm having a quarter life crisis now.
I think all of us just did.
So,
I think it's
heart hurts a little bit now.
I think it's safe to say the first one still holds up.
let's do a deep dive into the first one, just known as The Matrix.
Make sure you just follow the white rabbit.
Do you want to go down the rabbit hole?
Yeah.
You want to take the red pill or the blue pill?
You should probably leave his rabbit hole out of this.
Yeah.
God damn it, Lance.
We could take this little square white pill, too. That'll make you last for a while.
Any longer than 4 hours, then you should go see a doctor.
Longer than 4 hours in the Matrix. You might want to talk to your local agent.
All right, so obviously, the whole trope of the series is birth, life, and death. The three movies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he don't give birth.
Well, we're in the birth stage.
Gooey pot of red gelatin.
Yeah. So we start off this movie. Where are we at the beginning of this film?
Trinity's making a phone call with Sci-Fi, I believe. Oh, yeah. I got it all mapped up.
All right. Glad you do, because two of us...
Yeah, keep falling asleep.
Well, that and... what was it you said? You have an encyclopedic knowledge?
Sure.
Yeah, I just watched the Kung Fu, so...
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
It is.
I'm not gonna be much help on this one at all.
The first movie is my second favorite movie of all time. So, I've watched it endlessly. I watched it so much. When it first came out, I still didn't have a DVD player. In 99, I didn't have one.
Makes sense,
because
yeah.
my first DVD player, as most people's were, was a PS2.
Yep.
So, my first copy of The Matrix was on VHS, and I watched it so much that the tape burnt and broke. Like, it warped
Damn.
and then it broke.
My brother and I did that
Dedication.
to 9 to 5 when we were kids. And Beetlejuice.
I can see Beetlejuice.
Yeah. 9 to 5. We wore out 9 to 5.
That's
What
kind of weird.
kid
Yeah.
watches that movie that
Yeah.
obsessively? Us.
That's kind of weird.
This explains some things.
Probably Thomas Anderson as a kid.
Thomas and...
Mr. Anderson.
I mean, he has a boring corporate job.
Well, before we go into more analysis, fun fact that you brought up the format. The Matrix was the last movie ever to be produced on Laserdisc. So it was on what, three formats at once?
It was just a glitch in the Matrix.
It was on VHS,
that's the only
DVD,
reason.
and
Laserdisc.
Laserdisc at the same time.
No,
Released.
I'm sure there's
crazy.
some poor soul in an AV club somewhere that copied it over to a Betamax.
I kind of want to do this now.
No, you don't.
We got to find a Betamax burner, and we got to find a Betamax tape, and we're going to do this shit.
Oh my god. That'd be pretty hilarious.
So, Trinity Cypher, she gets out of the Matrix. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Which, I have to admit, the first time I ever watched that movie, that scene confused the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I was cool, like, when she does the slow motion kick and everything. All that was cool, but I went into the first movie completely blind. I had seen, I think, one trailer and actually thought that the movie looked stupid as hell.
Yeah, because you didn't even see it in theater, did you?
No, my dad and I waited until it hit HBO. We watched it. And then when she's running for the phone as a truck's barreling down on her, I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this bitch?
You know, she just needs to use that phone.
Apparently.
She is a girl and she needs to make a phone call.
There's a glitch in the Matrix. We are hearing cat noises now. For some reason or another. So, let's pick up where the actual fun begins in this movie.
With Thomas Anderson?
Yes. With
Thomas A. Anderson?
Thomas Anderson, or
programmer for a respectable company.
you become the One, or also known as
Cyber Jesus?
Mr. Straight Face himself, Keanu Reeves.
Cyber Jesus.
That definitely started a trend for his career for a while. He didn't really show emotion for quite a few movies.
He was perfect for this movie.
Yeah.
Which is a far cry from the whole Bill and Ted's persona.
Yeah, he was not excellent in this. He was, hello.
Well, the first one, he still has some emotion. He has a little more emotion in the first one than the sequels. Sequels, he's definitely a very deadpan. But
for Jesus, he is soulless.
I mean, when you've experienced that much, though, right?
Information overload?
Well, not information overload, but the enlightenment. Nothing phases you anymore.
Or maybe
you can neither be happy nor sad because you realize that the emotions are just
so Neo is dead.
A construct in and of themselves. Well, it's not that he's dead. It's more that he just doesn't know it yet.
Where he doesn't give a fuck.
You could.
He's on a suicide mission. He doesn't give a fuck.
You could argue maybe it was a Lazarus Project moment. He died and he came back and he wasn't the same Neo.
Maybe.
You know.
All right, so, but
we got a Rick and Morty thing going over here.
Yeah, maybe. It could exist all in the same universe right now. We don't know.
Yep.
But what we do know is that he's in a boring ass job like most people, and it hits a little too close to home, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
And then
he sits in a cubicle with his computer screen off. If you never noticed that, when the guy comes to deliver his package, he is staring at his keyboard and his computer monitor is off.
I believe they planned on editing something in there in post and then just realized...
Well, somebody forgot to do the job.
They didn't even need to
They had one job. One.
I mean, it is a short scene. You don't need it, but it's like, yeah, I feel you. I don't want to turn on my computer at work either.
So we pick up with him getting a phone call from one Lawrence Fishburne, or in this case Morpheus.
But the creepy BDSM club is before that.
Yeah, because he follows the white.
He follows the white
rabbit.
Yeah.
Which begs the question: why the hell was he at a BDSM club to start with?
Because he was following the white rabbit. The real question is why was the rabbit program that go there? Yeah.
Which sets up for the sequel. We will.
I have some theories about what that club is. We'll get there.
Okay. So he follows the white rabbit, goes into kinky sex land.
And the Trinity's there like, hey, look at me in my kinky sex suit.
Yeah. Which she keeps for the remainder of the series.
Yeah, she's always wearing latex.
So he meets Trinity there.
Yeah. And that's that weird, if you're looking for it, it'll find you. And then he wakes up to his alarm. And then that's back up to where we were talking about, where he gets the phone.
Yep. So then goes back into work, pissed off because he has to be at work. Gets a phone call.
Do you know who this is?
Yeah. No, I do not.
Oh, but he does.
Are you my pimp? Yeah. Baby.
He's certainly dressed like one. All he's missing is a cane and a hat.
You're not wrong there. So we get to Morpheus calling Neo, follow me if you want to live.
Quite literally.
Basically.
Follow my instructions. Now, this is going to sound crazy. You might not like it, but get your ass out on the ledge on the 30th story of a high-rise and just walk around the outside.
Tell us what made that scene so awesome, though.
Oh yeah, the scene where he's walking on the outside of the building apparently was actually real. Obviously, some of the shots, like the phone falling and looking down, is edited. But apparently, I don't know what story he was on or if he was actually that high up. But they told him, you need to walk on the edge of this building. You know, there's a net, you're safe. But some of that fear he's showing when the wind blows and he grabs kind of that vent shaft or whatever he's holding on to, it's like, that's legitimate fear for Keanu because, you know, he could fall.
And you said he's actually afraid of heights, right?
I don't know whether he's afraid of heights. It's just that was general fear that, you know, you're 30 stories up just filming a movie for a scene that's pretty
inconsequential.
But I think it's one of the strong points that we all like about The Matrix is wherever they could, they used practical effects.
Yeah, it's a long start.
This was the late 90s, like 98, you would say they started filming, released in 99?
97, I think.
97, okay. So even more so, yeah, practical effects were still more popular than CGI at that point.
And I think in character, it was important to show that Neo was human and had fears, and, you know, by the end, he's overcome all that because
he is the one. So then we have Agent Smith and bunch of,
the creepy interrogation scene.
Yep, some more agents following him. They obviously get him because he was a bitch at this point. If you
think about it, Smith actually takes off his glasses quite a bit.
He does.
He never really does it in the sequels except for one time. But in the first one, you know, he's actually kind of calm. He's not being overly violent or negative towards Neo at that point. It's just, hey, you help me, I'll help you. You know, this guy's a terrorist. Do the right thing. It's only when Neo tells him to fuck off that he gets a little pissed off.
Well, yeah, they put the belly worm in him.
Yeah, oh my god, dude. Still have nightmares about that thing. Are you kidding me?
Well, there's two fucked up parts there. There's the belly worm. Before they do that...
The fact that it's solid?
The mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Where his mouth gets fused shut.
How are you going to scream if you can't open your... Yeah.
And it's one thing to have like something over your mouth, but his mouth is like fused together with like fleshy bits, so it's fucking weird. That still bothers me. It's weird.
It's like getting your mouth sewn in horror movies.
Only even worse because it's...
Yeah, it's all flesh.
It's all flesh. It's all fused.
And that look on Smith's face when that's happening, he's just like...
Yeah, he's just
happy. He's got that big ass...
Yeah.
He's like, my work here is done.
Grin, like, you'll never speak to anyone.
Yeah, this will teach you a lesson, you little bitch.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's all a nightmare. Or is it?
Is it?
Or is it?
So much of that in that movie.
Yeah. So he meets Trinity again.
Yeah. And
they suck out the worm.
Yeah, they suck out the worm in the car, and that's when he meets the other two people, APOC and Switch.
Yep.
Jesus, that thing was real?
Yeah.
And they dump it out into the road, and it just kind of blinks out.
Yeah, it turns into the normal blinky, hard LED light rather than the worm.
Yeah. So, it's pretty interesting. I feel like that thing would have still been able to survive somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, it was probably just turning off because it's like, oh, my job's
its
done.
Purpose is done.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think it would, like, come back to life, though, and like leap up to the car and just turn into a homemade
I may be
beacon?
giving them way too much credit. Maybe it was dependent on being in someone, like a
needing a bioorganic.
Yeah. Well, you know, the machines
component.
do need the bioelectricity and heat of the
They do,
battery.
which we're almost getting to there. So basically, let's just skip a little bit ahead.
Yeah, meets Morpheus.
Your choice.
Gives him the pills.
The pills, Viagra or
Mike and Ike.
I blanked on that one. Viagra's easy. It's blue.
I always think of Dayquil and NyQuil.
Yeah.
Dayquil and NyQuil, boy. Choose one.
Doesn't matter which one you choose, because you're still going to go to sleep.
He chose the Dayquil, he went to sleep, and then he woke up.
Yep, in the bathtub full of goo.
Full of goo. He's like being born again. So he has the wires all over his arms and his back. And
would you say those are
out of his head.
umbilical cords?
No, they would smack us in the face with symbolism, wouldn't they? The whole movie's not for the Matrix.
Symbolism?
No.
I mean, that entire franchise has fucked with my ability to just completely believe that our world is exactly what it is. And that we're not plugged into some bullshit mainframe like that.
The Matrix theory. It's actually a theory. I mean,
I'm very aware.
If only.
I've gone down that rabbit hole a couple of times.
Makes you wonder sometimes.
As I'm sure others have.
You say you went down the rabbit hole.
Did you wind up at a BDSM club?
Listen, I may have been to several.
That is not a denial.
It did not require the Matrix.
Well, see, in the Matrix universe, you can either have BDSM club or you can have cave orgy. What do you want?
We're not there yet.
Why not?
Spoilers.
They allude to it. I can touch on it.
The outfits are a lot
Well,
better.
they allude to Zion. They mention
Zion. They don't say, hey, it's one giant fuck party. Come on down.
That would be a totally different movie.
To be fair, you need to be creating unplugged humans.
That is true. They need
more.
Which once he is unplugged and gets up to the ship, the Nebuchadnezzar, he is introduced to non-plugged babies.
So finish the scene out. He gets ejected. He's all slimy. He's butt-ass naked. He goes down the world's craziest water slide into a river of shit where a giant claw machine picks him up. And that's a bunch of bullshit because, as Amber said when we were watching that, nobody's that good at a crane game. Nobody.
But they're robots.
It's the future.
They would be.
Yeah.
Why are the machines working for the humans then?
Well, in some way, we are connected to them.
They're not working for the humans. They have the detected anomaly in the system.
I know.
And they're
I'm
like,
saying is,
oh, it's
the
a
machines-
dead battery. We have to flush it.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
Well, he's talking about the crane.
The crane. Why is the crane cooperating? Why is it?
It's not cooperating. It's running on its standard operating parameters.
Pick up this dead
It's
thing.
Okay.
Can't have the toilet clogged.
right. So the battery has become aware it is now malfunctioning. Right. So a machine
So it's
that knows
adjusting.
there's a malfunction runs through its typical algorithms. Says, oh, we have to take this thing, drop it down into this. This other machine component comes in, picks it up, goes and takes it somewhere else, drops it off somewhere else, and the humans that know how the machine works and everything like that go and pick up the human. Now, they don't understand that it's all by a whole grand design.
Well, yeah,
that they
do show that the crane that he's talking about is on the Neb.
yeah,
It's not a separate thing. It's on the Nebuchadnezzar.
right.
But still.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if every machine can be sentient, I'm like, why doesn't the ship just go, fuck you guys, and just ram them into the ground?
Because we'll get there. They talk about it in 2. There's a whole conversation that you 2 slept through.
There's no AI in the ship.
Guilty as charged.
Here's the thing. Rich and I need a little more emotion in our movies than
Yes.
the Matrix provides.
Listen, there's a lot of emotion.
It's a little too subtle and nuanced.
I like how Fry and I are on this side of the table,
Yep.
and you two are on that side of the
This
table.
is team
And we completely are like smitten with this whole series, and you guys are like, meh.
I love the first
Again,
one.
Well, see,
I love the whole series. Why? Because it has a lot of kung fu in it.
I love Kung Fu.
I love
too.
kung fu. Just to be on the record, I like kung fu and kung fu movies,
See, on this side of
which
the
is
table,
why I
though,
like this so far.
this side of the table, like subtext. That side of the table is more your Fast and Furious fans.
Oh, they just like the action and the drama.
Hey,
I also like
Hey.
subtext. I
Yes.
just need it to be a little more clear and a
Yeah.
little less like, hey, if you haven't read the Bible front to back and back to front again, then you won't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Smack you in the face with so much symbology. You don't.
Symbology?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
symbology.
Okay.
You know, the study of
There's-
symbols.
we're symbiotes.
There's a ton of metaphors. There are a ton of biblical references.
Yeah.
There are a ton of.
I got those. It was more of the.
There's a ton of pagan references too.
I got most of that, but I think what really fucks me up is the way Tron explained, the way Tron used humans as programs was a little more clear to me than the Matrix for some reason. I don't know why either. It's weird. I get that more than I get the Matrix.
I mean,
but I love the Matrix for that fact because, hey, guess what? It makes you think.
Because this was deeply layered. It
Yeah.
was meant to look like just a standard kind of hacker movie, at least in all of the previews and everything like that. And so everybody kind of went into it with that thinking of, oh, this guy's going to hack in, he's going to discover some crazy secrets, and then now all of these agents are after him. But then you get into the movie and you realize, oh shit, he's just unlocked secrets of the real world. And he's dumped out
It's
into
reverse hacking.
And then, yeah.
But why make it so complicated when you could just give all your baby humans lobotomies and they'll never do a fucking thing ever again, and you'll get all the power you need from their little lobotomy
Because you'd be bored
bodies.
as shit.
Yeah.
It would make a terrible movie, but it'd be a good real-life application for the robots.
Basically, she's saying don't let them dream, just let them be batteries.
Well, but here's
The
the
machines
reason.
aren't dreaming. They went about it
No,
in a perfectly
humans.
logical
right,
approach.
right.
I'm saying
But why not
lobotomize the humans. Make them shells that just
Basically,
provide
put them in
power.
coma so they can't do
Yeah.
shit.
That's what the Matrix is.
No.
It's a stasis.
You still can break
But
out
you
of
can
it.
still-
It's so
yeah.
complicated.
It's still proven it can
But
be
the-
broken out of.
The solution to that is actually in the original script. It's a leftover because the original purpose of the Matrix was the humans weren't batteries. And it's been argued to death.
Okay.
Yes, human beings are an efficient power source. Wah, wah, wah. The
It's still a cool plot.
studio's the one that said, I don't think the mass market will like your original idea. So they made them convert to a power plant.
Yes.
So what was the
They would be
original
right.
concept?
The original concept was they were using the human mind as a processor.
Right.
So the whole point of the Matrix and going and doing your job was you were actually secretly figuring out problems for the machines.
I would have liked that better.
Yeah.
Well,
Most of us do.
That would've made more sense.
There are a lot of people who would absolutely connect with that.
Yeah.
But when
Because
you're
then-
talking about mass market,
it's
It was
gotta be,
easier to
it's
go,
gotta
you're
be
just a
profitable.
battery.
It's gotta reach
and I hate to say
everyone,
it, but
yeah.
in some cases, they had to appeal to the lowest common denominator.
Yep.
Hi.
Ouch.
They did not succeed,
Well, and the-
apparently.
And the other part is you can explain, hey, you're a battery easier than you can say, hey,
Yeah.
you're a processing unit and your whole job was
Well,
a
especially
fabrication
at
to
that
solve
point
problems.
in the 90s, yeah, we have computers, but it's like now with smartphones
Now
and
people would understand.
yeah, now with smartphones and all that, we've grown up with technology. We have a generation now that has known nothing but technology.
No.
That could be done now, but back 97 to 99,
Yeah. While they're filming it. And
it's kind of a foreign concept. So yeah, this is what it's almost like it was too far ahead of its time.
Yeah,
To a degree.
To a degree.
It was a good way.
Though its style is definitely where
No,
it
it's
should
definitely where it should be.
Oh, I love the style
Yeah.
of it.
be. Yeah. Trench coats, everybody's walking around like they're walking to a Colorado
badass
school.
glasses.
It definitely changed the fashion scene for a significant portion of time.
It did.
And then it had a resurgence during each of the movie releases.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bought some sunglasses when Reloaded came out. I was like, yeah.
Up until towards the end of college, I always had a pair of wraparound sunglasses, and then it was just like,
Nice.
okay, I can't see much anymore. I got to go to real glasses.
I wore the fuck out of a trench coat. I absolutely did. I had a black trench coat, had big stompy boots, and some goofy ass tinted shades. I think mine were like purple or something.
Yeah.
And it was oh man, if I go back and look at some of those photos,
You're like, why
I love
was
high school
forget?
fashion. It was such a fun time.
But yeah, so, and we're going to jump a little further. Okay, so we get kitted up. He's all, hey, I know the real world and I know the Matrix world, so let's jump back in the Matrix world.
wait, no, my favorite part is I know Kung Fu.
That's what most people know.
Yeah, yeah.
From that movie.
I know Kung Fu.
Well, yeah.
Show me.
But I like how he just kind of like blinks and then all of a sudden he's like, I know Kung Fu.
He's the one. He knows it all.
Well, I mean, he doesn't just blink. Let's be honest,
they show
it
that.
kind of looks like he's having an orgasm
Yeah.
every time they load a new program into his face. It's like,
Yeah.
"Ah!"
Yeah.
Oh, I know Kung Fu now. It's like, Keanu, come on now. I know you're not known for your overacting, but you're overacting there.
He tried.
One of 3 times he probably overacted in the whole series.
Yeah.
So,
There's some
all right,
fun
let's
stuff to that.
jump to whatever everyone knows. They're in their trench coats and their sunglasses, and they're looking like badass 90s people.
Yep.
They got their John Woo bullets going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that would fast forward us, if I remember right.
Approximately like 26 minutes into
Yeah.
the film.
Mr. Matrix Encyclopedia over here. All right. And
I don't know if that's correct, but it's probably correct.
It's probably damn close.
We're going to go see the Oracle, and she's going to bake me some cookies.
So they get their trench coat on and they go.
Oh yeah, but before they go see Granny Bakes a Lot, crap! Now I'm spacing on his name. No, the guy, Cypher. He has that secret.
Yeah, he has the meeting.
Fuck Cypher and his obvious
the
villain goatee.
Yeah, yeah. Every time he shows up, hey, I'm creeping on your girl. Yeah,
Hey.
I'm creepy. Look at my mustache.
Yeah.
Hey,
Ooh.
I'm smelling your face.
Yep.
You're just like, what?
Yeah, he's a creepy dude.
He's
but
so creepy, but he plays it well.
So he's planning to sell his whole team out because he wants to taste steak again.
pretty much.
But even before that, though, he has that conversation with Neo. When Neo's kind
Talk
of
about wish he
wandering
can
the
go back.
ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
it's
like, why didn't I take the blue pill? That right there should have been a hint for Neo to tell Morpheus, and for Morpheus to throw Cypher out the fucking.
He's the new guy. He's the
thing.
old man on the top.
Yeah. You don't want to stir up trouble.
Don't rock the boat.
But I mean, immediately when he said that, even when I was watching for the first time, I was like, "Oh fuck!"
He's the most stereotypical villain. He has especially in the Matrix, where he's got the shades, the leather jacket, the bald head, the
You just
goatee.
described every character.
Well, but his glasses are actually like
bald head and
really
goatee.
thin.
I'm like, yeah.
His glasses are like really thin.
Yeah. He looks
screams
evil.
evil.
Fuck. Yeah.
Screams
The
evil.
thinner the glasses, the more evil your character.
Though, since we're talking about kind of the differences in their looks, I got to touch on this real quick because it's something that I don't think Amber and Lance knew. I don't know if you knew or not. The character of Switch.
Before this now.
The original concept of that character was in the Matrix. It was supposed to be the Switch that everyone knows. It's the woman with kind of the blonde hair.
The blonde, yeah.
And then when they jacked out, it was supposed to be a guy. And that was the whole meaning behind the name Switch. And it kind of fits with, especially gamer culture now.
Right.
Especially me. Usually when I'm playing a game, if there's a choice,
I'm
playing as the female character.
Yeah.
But again, it was one of those things from the higher ups. They went, that at the time, that might have been too controversial. I don't think people understand. Let's just make it the girl.
Which, if they come back to this and they remake it, I hope that they
do a character like that.
But I remember I didn't know it when they originally released it. I found out about it later, and I remember thinking to myself about that character's androgyny and how they still alluded to that.
Especially
the
with
Switch,
with the shorter hair and everything.
Exactly.
They kind of toy that line, but it's like, well, now we only have to pay the one actress rather than two people.
Yeah.
And for a character as limited as she was,
basically she points a gun in Neo's face and then she gets a jack ripped out of her head. That's her whole contribution to the movie.
I mean, she stands in the background for a good chunk,
but she also has one of the greatest lines in movie history. Not like this.
And now it's the way every bad moment in esports history goes down.
Which, to be fair, I completely forgot that line even existed till we rewatched it. I'm like,
it's so...
That's the origin.
Yep. It's so in pop culture now that people forget where it came from.
Yeah.
Yep.
And because people say same...
I actually forgot she even said that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, that's where that came from. All right.
Yeah.
God damn you, Savvy.
But I do really appreciate the way that they pushed gender stereotypes and what you're used to in the movie through a lot of the different characters. So
you can see the future of the Wachowski siblings, even in this first movie when they were still both brothers.
Yeah,
you can kind of see their wants and desires. Almost a decade down the road when they finally went through the gender operations.
Well, yeah, they were exploring a lot of their own identity throughout the entire character creation.
Yeah.
Throughout each of the characters, you can see where they were testing. Well, what would it be like to think in these terms, but still be in this body?
Yeah,
or be in this body and have this opportunity to try these different things.
And they got away with it without causing controversy.
Yeah.
So...
because it was edgy. It was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
There was so many things that they did that they pushed boundaries. They explored different types of gender themes and non-traditional gender roles that the public was like, wow, I guess in a neo-dystopian future, this is exactly how some of this type of stuff could go down. And the fact that they're like, well, we can explain it away because it's the Matrix.
Yeah.
All of these characters are existing in this weird kind of fake construct.
You get around a lot of some of the holes just by saying, well, it's the Matrix.
Exactly.
Well, there's that, but also I think you're talking about the future. No one could predict the future, so it's like,
not very well.
That could be plausible, but also the story, the way they write, it's pretty ambiguous whether the character could be male or female.
Mm-hmm. The character could be filled by either.
Yeah.
Anybody could be any of this.
Anybody.
Yeah.
A lot of the names are not gender specific. There are so many things that, and they even toy with that when he meets Trinity and she says,
he says, I always thought you were a guy.
Yeah, and she goes, well, yeah, most people do. Mm-hmm. Or most guys do. And there's that mentality of, oh, okay, here's this world famous hacker, and it's a female. Mm-hmm. Well, that's not what I was expecting.
Yep.
And they toy with that, and that whole negative perception that gets cast on both sides, right? That the guys automatically assume girls can't exist in that kind of uber capacity.
They can't dual wield pistols and then throw a knife at some guy's head.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. You're right. It was fun just kind of...
Looking back on it, you can see where they were.
Right, because when we were originally watching it, when they first came out, we weren't thinking about those things. We had no idea that the Wachowski siblings were going to become who they are now and, even explore all of their type of stuff.
It was taboo for the time.
Exactly.
But it was refreshing to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it in your mind early.
Well, but talk about the unexpected. Let's go back to down the story rabbit hole here.
Trying to keep the chronology a little bit.
A little bit. Thanks a lot. I was not expecting, hey, we're going to go see the Oracle. I'm like, cool, it's probably going to be some, we're keeping up on the Kung Fu thing. It's going to be some little old Asian guy in the mountains somewhere.
That's what I thought.
I thought that
Nope, it is just a granny. I'm like, what? What? She's literally baking cookies, and she is going to help save the world. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and they keep her role ambiguous. Well, she's told Morpheus something, she's told Trinity something, but they don't reveal it, and it's like, okay, so what's her purpose?
And I like that they have all the little kids in there as well, and that they're already enlightened and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're kind of orphaned, yeah.
And I gotta tell you, as soon as I saw that movie, I went and I grabbed a fucking spoon. I sat there staring at that bitch for hours.
I think everybody did.
I won't lie.
Yeah. Except for the fact that little kid is full of shit. You can easily bend a spoon.
Oh, yeah.
I've done that very easily before.
Hi. I'm a magician.
Well, yeah, but
he knows that trick already.
That's a trick. I'm talking, I can go to my silverware right now and go,
So with Grady Bakes a Lot, we meet her and she reveals some info to Neo.
And she's definitely not what you think of as kind of the wise old man type character.
When you put it in context,
she's a chain smoking, cookie baking, just like, hey, yo, what up?
And she doesn't.
She is chill AF, though, dude.
Yeah, she doesn't give a fuck. She's like, hey, yeah, you're about to break a face. I don't give a shit.
And the comment that really kind of messes with people is that whole, what's really going to bake your noodle is if I hadn't said anything, would you have broken the vase? Right? It plays on the paradigm of that whole concept of, if you know the future, can you actually change it? Or are you destined to fulfill that role because you knew the future in the first place?
Self-fulfilling prophecy?
Yeah.
Basically.
Targeted perception. There's a lot of...
Well, see, when he entered that room, he wasn't there to make the choice of turning around and breaking the vase. He already made it. He was there to understand why he made the choice.
Exactly. That's the predestiny.
Dropping some way too deep shit on my Kung Fu movie here.
Well, and that's one of your first subtle alliterations to the biblical prophecy, is that fact of predestiny. He was predestined to break a vase. Well, it doesn't seem like that much. Then you bring into play the butterfly effect. What effect did that have on everything? Because that fact came true, what else was tied to that event, that emotion, that knowledge that then also comes true simply because he went through that single act? There's a lot of deep thought that goes into all that stuff that ends up usually getting looked over.
And when you think about that, she even tells him very subtly, but She kind of tells him, hey, you're going to die.
Well, yeah, and she tells him he's the one. She She says, I'm sorry, kid. You have the gift,
but
which means you are the one, but you're waiting for something. Perhaps another life. I don't know.
Yeah, it's basically, you're going to die, then you can be the one. Yeah. And he just kind of looks around like, he does look confused. He's like, huh? And it's like, dude, you're going to die.
Think about it a little bit longer than that surface statement, and you realize she just told him he's the one.
I just had a quick thought, though. I'm going to bridge the gap a little here. I know we're rushing forward. This has actually never occurred to me until now. After 16 years of watching the sequel, this has now come to affect the first movie. I'm kind of wondering if the Oracle bakes special codes into her cookies, like the Merovingian bakes special codes into his pies.
Maybe.
Savage, dude.
Because she even says, by the time you finish this cookie...
Oh my fuck, dude.
You'll feel light as rain.
No, you'll feel right as rain. Yeah. I can promise you, by the time you finish this cookie, you'll feel right as rain. And he walks out the door.
He looks at Morpheus, and then he does kind of have that, like, okay.
She totally flashy thinged him from the Men in Black.
She's baking digi-drugs into his cookies.
Damn.
I mean, I always...
Listen, kids, we have watched this movie.
I never thought about that till now.
So many times. Well, at least between Fry and I. We've watched it so many times that for that realization, that just even hit me.
That's cool, yeah.
Holy shit.
20 years later, and you're still learning things about this movie. And
oh my God, dude.
That's the testament to this movie.
Yeah. And she does give him that choice. You know, not so much the one choice, but she does give him that choice, too, of, you know, you'll have Morpheus's life or your life.
Yeah. One of you is going to die.
She says it very clearly.
And you will make that choice. Yeah. There's no gray area. There is no possibility of misconstruing that message at all.
Yeah.
And golly gee, what happens 10 minutes later? Well, that prophecy is about to come true.
Prophecy's about to come true because good old Cypher decides to betray the team. We see his plan in motion. They're all plugged in.
Get a little deja vu kitty.
Yeah, deja vu kitty.
Which fucks with everybody else.
Well, Neo's like, yeah, Neo's like, is there a kid here? And everyone else is like, Hyler. Yeah, they pull out the guns like, fuck off, cat. And I'm like, what?
And then from that point forward, anytime I've experienced deja vu, I'm like, oh, there's a glitch in the Matrix.
I think that's become pop culture.
I don't even say it's deja vu anymore. I'm just like, oh, there's a glitch in the Matrix.
So they see that, of course, or SWAT comes in.
Starting to think about this. Let's think about that scene very critically. They're going up the stairs.
Yeah.
They just noticed the glitch on the lower floor. Maybe, what is that? Maybe the second floor or something?
Yeah.
Mouse is up near the top.
He's on top, yeah.
He notices the glitch, pulls out his machine guns, his little big drum guns, and gets blown away by the SWAT team that's already at the top.
I thought they yelled something. He faintly heard them.
What do you mean?
Well, they call him, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call him on the phone, and it's like...
That's when I realized,
like,
oh, he realizes something's up.
Tank calls him and says, you gotta get out! And he's like, oh, God. But here's my point that I'm getting at. The SWAT team is already on the top
floor, yeah.
So it's like...
They didn't pass them.
Did they come down from the roof, or did somehow they get added to the building?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I've never really thought about it, but it's like...
In terms of the glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah, when they redid the building, did they just go, oh yeah, now here's a whole room full of cops?
Yeah.
Because they got glitched in.
Yeah, because we don't see him passing them on the way up. They didn't pass Neo and them.
Yeah, because Neo and them stops on like the third or fourth floor and goes into that bathroom wall, and the cops are working their way down and up.
Maybe they glitched the top one in, and then, of course, that's when we see again good old agents and agents.
Who are you? You all look the same to me.
They all kind of do look alike. It's like...
Yeah.
Morpheus is kind of like they planned it.
Yeah. They're like typical Secret Service, of course.
Exactly.
Hugo Weaving was like, hey, you're paying me a shitload of money, so I'm going to be the face for the next two movies. Agent Smith and his two other cronies.
But if you're writing code, and the agents are code,
it makes sense.
Wouldn't you just copy and paste and maybe change a couple details rather than rewrite?
You're not wrong. Code? You're not wrong.
Agents were copy pasta.
The machines were as lazy as humans were. They don't have much
The only time
common after all machines.
His design doesn't change until the sequels. Like, they all wear the same suits, same sunglasses.
The glasses, yeah.
It's not until the sequels when you can tell he's different.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, he beats the living shit out of Morpheus.
Yeah, which... Oh, Neo fucked up by sneezing, and it's like, oh boy.
No,
that was Cypher.
Oh, Cypher sneezed, yes.
Which he wanted him to get caught anyway, so
that's true, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, he could have got killed in the crossfire, and it wouldn't have mattered, because...
He wanted a steak. He didn't care if he died.
Which, let's be honest, the machines weren't going to add.
They weren't going to camp.
No.
Well, even I believe the agents even comment on that once Cypher... Further down the line, he starts pulling plugs out of people's heads, and then he's killed in return. The agents even comment, hey, we've lost contact with the traitor. Oh, well, send the Sentinels after him anyway. It's like, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
He's just another human. They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
Just another bad battery.
So then that fast forwards us to the Oracle's prophecy of Morpheus getting the shit kicked out of him.
Well, he's getting drugged.
Getting tortured.
Oh, God.
The weird moment where Agent Smith grabs the sweat off of Morpheus's head and breathes it in.
You.
And he's like and then he pushes it up into Morpheus's neck.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this?
And Morpheus snorts on his own. His sweat smell. It's like
yeah, I love that. What was the point of that whole smell yourself? I'm like, what is
because he's disgusted by the human entity.
Right, and he doesn't understand why they're not disgusted by themselves. It's like us going to a farm and picking up a pig and being like, don't you see how filthy you are?
Well, that's the first time you start noticing there's something wrong with him.
Yeah, he starts going a little more off the rails.
He's going off the rails, and at that point,
pulled out his earpiece.
Pulls out the earpiece, so he's no longer connected to his brother.
Sends the people out.
Well, and he's still connected to him, though, but he pulled the piece off.
What's interesting about it...
Can't hear
they can't hear, but he's still connected, because it comes into play, too, though.
And you can see that as a program, he's evolving, because when the other two agents come back in the room, and they're like, you don't know what happened, and he puts his earpiece back in, they both look at him for just a brief moment, but it's long enough to be, aware that hey, you've done something that's anomalous to our program.
But
going off the grid.
He's already planning his next move because he says the war's going to be over soon, which begs the question, did he know what was coming from the very beginning of the sequels? But he's like, Zion will be destroyed. I need to get out. I've got to get out of the Matrix because it's going to be shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, okay. But yeah, I love his monologue at that whole thing.
It's very provocative. Each of the times that he speaks and goes on one of those rants, you're pretty glued to the screen.
That's just great acting.
That's
Hugo Weaving
in general. But the writing that accompanies his acting is very intelligent.
Very true,
and it's very indicative of what a machine would say to a human in terms of, why are you trying to... Resistance is futile, right? You resisting us is completely...
It's like, do you not understand where you are? Your body is not even here. We can fuck your mind up, and there's nothing you can do to stop us.
We own you. Why are you trying to break this? And that right there is a metaphor, actually, for the general current human condition in response to the government and all of the entities that control us. And that mentality of, well, you can either sit here and say nothing and just be yet another drone in the world of human society, a dreg, or you can step up and make a difference in some other capacity.
Or you can be like me
a lot of those
and really pray that someone invents the Matrix now so I can volunteer to go in. First one.
I know, you totally... He's like, dude...
I've given up. I want to go in. Plug me in, man. Plug me in. I want that steak.
Take me home.
And I'd be the one outside fighting. I'd be like, nah, dude.
You'd be like, hitting me upside the head. It's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I want the steak, man.
Well, this is all fascinating. My lizard brain is telling me, hey, this is when some really cool action's about to happen.
So
you're like, I'm gonna watch some kung fu.
So yeah, you're
talking about one of the greatest action scenes of the last.
Yes,
it might be the greatest action scene of all time.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. it's even more impressive when you realize they got it on the first stick.
It has everything.
Yep.
Helicopters, guns, crazy-ass fighting scenes, crazy-ass jumping.
And perfect comedic timing of falling tiles.
Yes, yes. Which was unscripted, in case you guys did not know.
Yeah, they kind of zoomed out of the lobby, and on the left, there's 2 tiles that just break apart and fall, and that wasn't planned. It was just kind of like, oh, well, that's kind of funny. That just leave it in there.
But then, as kind of like a forward, they overuse that in the Matrix game. Every tile falls that exact same way in the game.
Well, I think in the game, that was a new physics.
Yeah, physics engines were starting to come into play.
So they're like, hey, let's show off our new engine. Let's make every tile do that. And it's like, okay, that's cool the first time, but after the 100th time, I'm like,
it just goes to show that you can't just copy pasta programming and get away with it, because people will go, wait, no, that's dumb. That doesn't make sense.
So they worked their way up to the top, kicking ass, taking names along the way. It was the
original raid, working our way all the way to the top of the building.
It was. And they get to the top, and they find
an agent. And they do the, I can't even describe the sound effect of when he's
and I made that noise the other night when she yawned. Yeah, that metal taking over her throat sound.
Oh, yeah.
I was probably trying to become an agent in the moment.
Are you an agent now?
I am. I'm just collecting data right now.
Still only human.
But
that whole scene on the roof, that's impressive.
Yes.
Because that's the use of that 360 camera. I can't remember how many are actually on that rig, but all it is just...
It's a circular camera. Yeah.
A shot. It's not video. It's still frames going...
Well, it's a circular rig. I forget when I watched the making of, because I want to say it's 120 or 150 cameras all around.
Yeah, and it happens in 4 seconds.
4 seconds. And they show them going off. They all flash, and I'm like, holy shit.
Well, and
really cool.
And when you know that Keanu Reeves, granted, he is in this harness so he can lean back that far.
Yeah.
But he does that move in 4 real-time seconds. He's just like, woo, and waving his hands and falling over. But in the movie, it looks so cool.
Yeah.
And it's that first shot is when he starts slowing down and the bullets whizzing by him.
This started... we're pulling up the video here. I've seen this, a million different times.
Yeah, it's so impressive.
It's amazing. And even the people who've tried to recreate bullet time since then still never perfected it the way they did.
Well, the resources you have to use to get that to happen in this movie, it didn't depend on it, but it brought it, it invented it.
It's the acting and it's the post-production combination that gives it what it is. But everybody since then
tried to recreate that, or the Trinity jump.
Or they do it too fast. They don't understand the nuance of the timing.
Well, no, they just don't use the same technology. They just don't. They try to cheat it out.
And they can't. Yeah, they can't afford the technology.
I was going to say the technology is not necessarily new. It's just the quantity.
Yeah. And only big studios can do that. So Warner Brothers made this. Universal, Disney. Fox, Disney now. There's not many studios that can afford that.
If you look a little bit forward, taking a kind of an aside, from a production standpoint, what you do see now, which is kind of the evolution of this, is where there is a still frame and characters are moving completely throughout the scene. I think we saw it a lot in Ant-Man.
Which is derived from, I don't think Matrix was the first to do this, but it perfected it, was the lady in the red dress where
everything stops and then she's there and then turns into the agent. Exactly. Yeah.
So where are we in the timeline now? I'm trying to think. Rescue.
Well, they're about to get in the helicopter.
Yep. So we finished the rescue mission. Well, first off, Keanu sliding, holding the rope that's got Trinity attached to it, but for all he knows, it's the helicopter, and he's just like, I'm gonna stop a helicopter. Before that,
is that real badass scene where he's got a minigun. Basically,
he's blasting. He's hitting everything but Morpheus magically.
Which, I mean, come on, that's a massive suspension of disbelief.
It is, but it's fun.
However, it's pretty hilarious.
Don't think too much about it, because I'm like, I don't care. I'm here for the kung fu.
And unbelievably, that
he doesn't hit them.
Second movie.
Well, have you thought it this way? He didn't hit them because he is the one. He's that damn good.
Okay.
He's not the one yet. He ain't dead yet.
So, okay, wait, hold on. Let's play with that for a moment. So, he intended to save Morpheus. What if
he shot him?
What if he accidentally killed him because he lit the room up with a minigun?
I think in Path of Neo, the video game, you can do it. It's an instant game over.
Yeah, you can. It pops up. It's timeline disrupted or something like that.
But I wanted to bring up another practical effect that you were telling us about, which was the building, the ripple of glass.
Yeah, it's a weird instance where it's not the camera that's looking at the building when the helicopter hits and you see the perfect circle. It's the camera shot from the side where you see the ripple moving towards the camera. Apparently that was real, where if you slow motion and explosion fast enough, you see a ripple like that, then it explodes. Then they took that effect and went, and added it as a CG external.
Right, and now when you say that, I can absolutely connect with that because having run competition audio for cars for so long, you can run speakers in a car that will actually make the entire side of the vehicle ripple. Mm-hmm. Because of the sound waves. Then it's when it's done, the car's back to normal, and you're like, wait, what the fuck?
I'm sure in the post effect they may have exaggerated it. In the behind the scenes, they talk about that. It's like, when you get an explosion that powerful, it will ripple across the material before anything shatters.
And that was something kind of eye-opening for me, because I hadn't known that until we just went back and watched it as a group, and you brought that up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then that's when, like you were saying, he's holding onto the rope going, I'm going to pick up the helicopter.
I'm going to save this helicopter.
Unless he truly knew, because he does say, he's like, Trinity. And it's like, well, yeah, you're hoping that she's smart enough to go grab that exact thing and not just grab a parachute and jump out.
Right. Yeah.
So we're going to fast forward a little bit here. The Matrix. So
Sharon?
We rescue Morpheus. And then
the subway joke.
Oh God! I was like, "Where?
Leave it to Amber."
And that's all, folks.
And he's taking footlongs now. Oh! So yeah, let's just
hopefully we can insert a Subway commercial.
Subway, eat fresh.
All right. Anyway, we're gonna get sued.
No, we're not. We're giving a free advertising. They ain't gonna do shit.
Subway it tastes like chicken because that's what the machines wanted it to taste like.
Perfect segue. So we're on the subway now, the subway platform, which we will get more.
Which again, that's another one of those revolving camera shots that's just badass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and I don't know if it's this exact subway, but subways are a central theme when it comes, especially in the last one.
Oh, they love subways. I think there's a subway in every one. But there might not be a subway in Reloaded proper. Yeah, but there is the subway.
That's because subways in general, when you look at them, have a futuristic feel to them. Like when
it's just an easy way to say, "Hey, we're going from this part of the Matrix to the other real quick."
We grew up in DC, and so we took the metro a lot. And each station that you get out at has this sense of I don't want to say disorientation, but you forget that you're in like this bustling city, and all of a sudden you're in this huge overarching dome, and there's like all these neat architectural patterns and things like that, and it feels like you're in a futuristic environment.
It does, but at the same time, we have very different experiences.
Yeah.
Well,
the subways where were you going?
I just wasn't used to that, so it was even like for you, I bet like not busy is like extremely busy to me, because I've never, besides going to DC once, I've never been on it. And being to Boston, they don't have the subway there.
They got the L.
They got the L.
Well, yeah, ours was the Metro.
Yeah. And I used that when I was there, and I was like, holy shit, this is cramped.
And I've used the Metro in DC and in Paris. So I've experienced both versions, but I think there's a deeper, like, metaphor for the subway than just, hey, here's a convenient film shoot spot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, there's obviously...
It's the leaving.
Yeah.
Which they smack you in the face with it later on. It's the middle place between your world and ours. But, and oddly enough, every subway up to that point is dirtier than all hell. But
But that one is immaculate.
Yeah, but this one where they're fighting in is dirty as hell. It's even got a hobo.
Yep.
Yeah.
And who becomes the hobo?
Agent
Smith becomes the hobo.
Agent Smith takes him over, and
that's probably
they're trying to rush and get Jack back into the real world.
Yep.
So who Trinity makes it out. Morpheus makes it out.
Yep, and then it's as Trinity is getting pulled out, that's when Smith shoots the earpiece,
shoots the phone,
which is a really cool shot of seeing it hanging there, it get shot and explode.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of cool shots.
It's dangling there, and then you see Smith in the background. Yeah. So then, him and Neo fight.
Yep. I still like that. Yeah. With the 360 shot of that, and then they both land, and it's like, you're empty. I don't know. There's something about that.
I get more of my kung fu.
Yeah, but is it really well, Neo's doing the kung fu.
Doing kung fu.
Smith is basically being a Hulk and going, I'm punching as hard and fast as I can. He's breaking concrete.
Yep.
Which, seeing the movie as many times as I've seen it, you actually notice the one column when Neo's back is up against the column and Smith swipes and the column bursts apart.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell that it's discolored right where it explodes.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, movie magic. Yeah, you start noticing the edges of the scene.
So a little bit of discrepancies and things like that. But everything's happening so fast that you kind of blink past it. It's only when you go back and you rewatch it and you're studying every detail of every scene that you start to
just
even
like,
see those things.
When he does the backflip back onto the platform, you can kind of see the wire for a split second.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Before we go on more tangents, because we are,
or maybe it's like just a line.
We're an hour in, and we're only through the first one. So.
To be fair,
we're not even through the first one.
Yeah, we're almost through the first one.
There is a lot to cover.
There is a lot to cover.
So
That is true.
There is. This is going to be.
There could be a part 2, part 3.
I think this is going to be a multi-part series.
I think so.
Of the Matrix, which is fantastic because it's more content.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But copyright-wise, I do have to let you guys know. Unfortunately, we can't call this episode The Matrix Revisited.
Still, we should act like it is The Matrix Revisited. And if you guys get that reference, drop us a comment, because...
Yeah.
Brian, I know.
So we're on the platform, or the subway.
Yep, they fight the crap out of each other.
Yep. Neo has to book it to make it to another balloon.
Yep. Yeah, Smith gets the train to the face, which I think... I don't know, as quick as they change, that's kind of impressive too. But then the implications are kind of sad. It's like
that the
train is going to hit Smith. He's going to leap out. It suddenly becomes the hobo. The hobo's now splattered underneath the train, and then suddenly he's someone on the train. It's a little sad.
Yeah. I mean, how many innocents died because the agents were dicks?
Well, they don't really die, though. A lot of times they use the body,
use them and move on.
And then the person comes to, and they're like, wait,
what? Most of the ones up to that point that you saw, when they did die, like when they're using the minigun, they turn into cops.
Yeah.
It's like that one's a little sadder, because it's like, well, that was just a hobo, man. What did he ever do to you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What if it was like an innocent bystander, like when they're running through the apartment building and things like that, when they're done
Granny
with...
Smith?
When they're done with that person's body... they leave, and then that person is explained to have dementia or something else. It's kind of a little...
It's weird, but yeah.
Yeah. It's a break in the logic, but...
Yeah, then you get, like what Rich was saying, you get that long-ass chase sequence.
Mm-hmm.
He makes it to the phone. Well, he doesn't make it to the phone. He makes it to the door where the phone's at, and golly gee, Smith's already there somehow.
And he opens up the door, and it's...
And that shot as well.
Oh, man.
A slow motion on a Desert Eagle is impressive. And it's just seeing how powerful it is, and it's boom! And like he goes flying across the hallway, smacks his back against the wall. It's like, yeah, that's probably what a 50 caliber round would do.
Yeah, exactly. And then the entire sound of the mechanism inside the gun clicking, and then the cartridge pulling back and everything like that.
Yeah, it's very satisfying. And then it goes back into the real world times. Like, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, I think someone might be dead.
And you just kind of see his body in the rig, just like...
And then that's when we get into the necrophilia. if someone falls in love
with a corpse. You can't be dead because the oracle told me I'd fall in love with the one. Bitch, why didn't you tell me that while I was alive?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. She doesn't kiss him until he's cold dead.
Yep.
Right? Could this be another thing the Wachowskis were exploring?
Oh, I hope we never find out.
So she used her hoopajou powers and
They get
kisses him, and now he's back to life.
Yeah.
Yay.
Hey, he was Snow White all along.
That is a trope if I've ever heard
Yeah,
one.
so he's Snow White, and
He wakes up, and then that's when Smith's like, wait,
she was. Does that make her Prince Charming?
Yes.
Is that why she had helmet hair?
Yes.
And then as Amber so eloquently put it when we were watching this, he starts showing off. He's being a bro during that whole scene while Smith's trying to punch him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, no, I'm not even going to look at you. I'm just going to fight you one hand.
With one hand.
But the thing that's really impressive is that, like, that slow leg drop. He just sweeps it to the side and slowly drops. Like, okay, now you're just showing off.
Yeah.
He's like, look how strong I am. Let me just slowly lower my leg.
I did my kegels today. Hey, you can do many kegels.
All right. This episode brought to you by Megals, the male kegels.
So, and then we get the, I forget what we called it while we were watching it, but the Smith-Neo cyber rape.
Oh, yeah.
He basically jumps
inside
him,
Smith,
yeah.
and then rips him apart from the inside.
Yeah.
And then he flexes the world around him. Like, that was such a savage moment for me. I was like, oh!
Yeah, well, it's even so savage that the other agents look at each other and go,
Oh, no. you can see him, like, if memes existed in the capacity they do now, when that was done, there would have been all over the internet.
Yeah.
No.
Yep. Well, see,
That was the nope meme before the nope meme.
they noped so hard that they never came back in the sequels.
Yeah,
it's completely new agents.
Well, yeah, because if you think about it, right, they went against their programming. That means the machines had to...
Yeah, they experienced fear, which they're not good at their job.
Exactly, so they got rewritten, and that's why they came back as new and improved agents.
I just assumed the actors wanted more money.
Maybe, but I mean, there's a lot of nuance to that whole premise. I mean, we can maybe that's just us overthinking things as usual, but...
Well, if we're talking about actors wanting too much money, you know, we skipping through the timeline here.
That'd be a good segue into the two.
Yeah, operator. We didn't talk about Tank and his brother very much. You know, I think we only mentioned non-tube babies once. But it's like the only two. I forget what he calls it. Homegrown, full-blooded humans.
Yeah.
Born here, right? The real world. You know, there's only two of them on the ship, and one gets a full blast of electricity, dies immediately. The big burly guy who you'd expect to be able to take a couple shots, you know?
Well, because it jump-started his heart, man. Like, overloaded his heart.
Yep. And then somehow Tank survives until the end of the movie and dies from his wounds because the actor wanted too much money.
Yeah.
So...
And they just kind of like briefly brush it aside in the second one.
Yeah, it's like my brother died. I don't want you going on that ship. Wait, how did he die? No, we're not going to talk about it.
Exactly. Like, peace out. That's what you get for trying to come at us and demand more money.
Yep. It's like, you're not the one. You're not important to this movie.
Which kind of sucks, but I mean, that is something that Hollywood always experiences. If somebody gets a little bit too big for their britches and is like, yeah, you need me. And then Hollywood's like,
Edward Norton.
So.
All right. So I think that's a pretty good wrap up of
also
one transition.
You also get one of the,
was there anything
one
else?
of the most badass endings too.
Yeah.
It's so simple, but it's just like,
where they go back to the Matrix, put on their...
Well, no,
where he flies
he's
off.
talking on the phone, and he's just like,
oh,
I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see.
Yeah.
Basically, come stop me. And then, starts playing Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
And then he flies into the sunset.
Now, I will say, the first time I watched it, I was like,
Superman.
What the fuck? That was kind of stupid. Like, when I first saw it, I'm like, that ending was kind of stupid when he flies away.
Yeah.
It was so cool. I was like, what's he going to show him? Is he going to, like, show them the code or something like he sees
and
it
he
or
just
something?
dips the fuck out, and you're like, wait, what? But I think it's more of just, hey, I'm going to awaken more people from the Matrix. We're going to build an army, and we're coming after you.
Yep.
It's kind of the Liam Neeson phone call before the Liam Neeson
it really
phone
is.
call.
And then they do comment on that in the following couple years, because if you do pay attention to the digital codes that are popping up when they're like hacking the Matrix, and it's like when he's on the phone call, I think it does say something like December 17th, 1998, and then it goes system failure.
Yeah.
And then when they start in 2, it does say 2003.
So I think that's kind of a good spot to drop this episode.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of leave you guys hanging
because for
where we're going for that.
There's
a
lot to talk about for the first movie.
We can
now where it's just going to get insane with the sequels, because the sequels in themselves are their own identity. One stands alone. The rest of the saga is so intertwined, it's hard not to cross. So we're going to have to
two-part it.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right, well, that wraps up part 1 of this series. Boom, boom, boom. So if you only like the first Matrix, good news, you can stop there. You can peace out. But
if you want to get reloaded,
yes, we will be
here, spinning in our chairs, revolving as it.
Oh my god!
I was picturing Exorcist a little bit there.
Our heads spinning on the chairs.
No, us on the chair spinning.
All right,
but yeah. So if you enjoyed it, tell us in the comments below, or leave us some feedback on social media. So yeah, that
start a quote war in the comments.
Yes.
Oh, bring
quote wars.
Quote war.
Woo!
So yeah, until part 2 or next time, Herd out.
Peace out, Cub Scout.